This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the fishing crew.
Norm! Gotta do it. Thanks for playing along, Johnny. We lost George Wendt. So Normie's gone from...
I had to ask you who it was. I knew Norm, but I didn't know the actor.
Really? Yeah. And you know what, Kurt? That's okay. I mean, that's just fine and dandy. We all know Johnny, and that's all we need to know right now. So it's been a long day already.
Woo. It's been a good day, though, considering the conditions, right? We all came to Devil's Lake to go fishing, and didn't happen today.
Not yet. But
man, it's been a productive day. It's a fun day.
It has. Yeah, it's been really
interesting.
Good. The one good thing is we're sitting in the barn. They came in with a couple bags of fish, so we're going to catch fish tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we're going to catch them.
Yeah.
But like you said, like we were talking before we went live here, we came up here to do a media event. We really didn't come up here to fish.
No,
right.
It was about promoting the area. The media event was the reason the fishing was the reason we were here to promote, but it's all about promoting. And we've gotten more done today with the different interviews.
I think this is my 5th podcast / radio.
Right.
I don't know what you want to call them, but the 5th one today, and they're all 45 minutes to an hour long. So it's been fun, and went to a new restaurant in town. I hadn't eaten there yet. They've only been open 6 or 7 days, and the food was great. And the conversations that people aren't getting to hear, you almost wish you had one of these microphones under every chair in that conference room.
Yeah.
Because you want to talk about content and stories about the good old days and the people that are here, right? The Romanex with precision trolling data, and the 35 or 40 years in the fishing industry those guys have, and myself, and Jason Mitchell made a cameo appearance today, right? So you get some stories from him, and holy cow, Zippy, and I mean, just turn a microphone on in that room and leave.
Go. Jason Mitchell showed up.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So it was cool, but you talk about precision trolling data and the old. Because I tried at one point. I tried to get the Bible.
Yeah.
And they're gone, right? Because they weren't making them anymore.
I have one of each edition.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Paid full price for everyone. Thanks, Mark. Thanks a lot, Mark. I paid full price for everyone.
Now anyone can have that information if you download the app. It really doesn't cost that much.
Not when you think about it, right? The smartest way to buy it's a lifetime membership. I think it's it's 100 and change or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I bought it was 100.
Yeah, you get all the updates, and when they come out with new stuff. And I told Mark the other night at the little gathering, I said, "You can stop now." He goes, "What do you mean?" Right. I said, "Because every time you add a bait, I buy a bait. So you can get because I'm like, oh, if it's on the app, I better have it. Must be good, or they wouldn't put it on there." So it's great. It's like,
great information.
Cut it out, Mark. No more baits. Right?
Well, and this thing is crazy is I go out fishing with people and guys that pull crankbaits or want to learn, and I'm like, how far, how do you know how to put it back? I'm like, well, precision trolling tells me this speed, this step, blah, blah. What?
Yeah.
And I don't know how many I've sold right there in the boat. Like, download it, it's $100. You got every bait you need, and you're done.
And it's spot on.
It's right on.
It's right there.
Well, there's diving, they're doing it. It's
on the money.
Human eyes on, and that's the crazy thing about it.
Really
works well. It does.
Seaberg, not yet. Tomorrow and Thursday, we will actually get a little fishing in. So we got a comment from Tommy asking if we're doing any fishing. You know, not everybody up here has cold snap gear like me, so they didn't want to go out today. So, the app is the best app ever, 100%. But no, I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, it literally, I don't know, all the years you had to learn or have the old Bible or print stuff off or save the back of the wrapper to understand, and that, how well that works.
It was even worse than that. So I started open water trolling before it was cool.
Yeah.
My father was a Lake Erie charter boat captain on the eastern end of Lake Erie. And we would go out in the middle of a great abyss of Lake Erie with level wind reels, who cares what brand they were, and you counted passes. And you started out with the furthest outside rod, 1 or 2 passes, and the next one was 3, and the next one was 4, and the next one was 5. And we had 10 rods out, so every one's a pass different. And whichever one caught fish, you made them all that many passes, and you fished till you quit catching. Yeah. And then you went back to everyone was different till one caught a fish, and we had no idea of the the fish were.
No clue.
Nor did we care.
No, because
We didn't care.
when the fish bit,
We just wanted to catch them.
yeah, you got to.
I'm like, Mark, you took all the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Because now you look at your depth finder and the fish are at 27 feet. So you look
Right.
it up and you let them all out to 27 feet. And
Yeah.
you know you're in the zone. And there's no more, oh, gee, which one will it be today? You know which one it's going to be
Right.
because you're right
Yeah,
in the grill.
well, and if you're pointing live backwards and you're watching
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole thing and it's all
Oh,
right there and you see the fish come
Yeah.
in, and
Oh, yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I had fortunate enough to fish with Bob Prop Sr. a couple times and no line counters.
Oh, yeah. Nothing.
I mean, we had rusty hooks. And my favorite Bob Prop Sr. story.
9/16 nut for a sinker.
Lawn
So-
chair and pontoon.
So one day I was working and Bob calls me and he's whispering. He calls my work phone because they're there. And I go, what? He goes, shh, they're there. And I go, what are you talking about, Senior? He's like on 73 on McConaughey, the fish are on the face of the dam. And I'm like, when was the last time you were out fishing? It doesn't matter, partner. They're there. Can we go fishing tonight? I'm like, sure. So I get off work. He called me like 9. It's 3:00 when he called me the first time. He called me like 9 times between 3 and 5. I go pick him up and I go, what are we taking? He goes, my Lund Alaska. I said, when's the last time it ran? He goes, junior duck hunt last fall. I'm like, okay, so the batteries have now been plugged in. Like I'm just going through everything in my head. So we go out, grab his boat, go to the gas station, and he's filling up the gas can. He goes, Senior, need oil for it? And he pulls out a can that had no label left. And he goes, nope, got some. You gonna measure that? Goes, no, that looks about right. I'm like, okay. So then we go over to runnings, and I'm like, what do we need? And I bought a jump box and a lantern and all this extra shit because I'm like, we got to have this because you never know with Senior. And all he would let me buy was the black and silver original wrap. I'd put an orange one in there. He'd put it back on the shelf. And so we go to the face of the dam. We get down there, and he's like, all right. And he gives me a spinning reel. And he goes, you're going to flip it out. You're going to count to 25 and put your finger on the line. And I'm like, what? And I'm literally like here to the other side of the table. My rod's almost hitting shore. And I'm like, what, Senior? He goes, that way, partner, if you get a snag, you just let go and the wrap floats up. You don't lose them.
Top, right?
All right. We caught 21 of them were 26 inches that night. I still like my backdrop on my phone is me and Senior holding.
There you go.
Yeah. Like, and he's just, I'm like, when was the last time we had it? He goes, I don't know. I'm like, how did you know they were there? And the best thing we did for 2 nights in a row, day 2, boat come up like halfway across the dam and they're jigging. And we go by him. And I go, Senior, I look back, he's doing this with his rod. I go, what are you doing? He goes, can't let him know what we're doing, partner. I'm like, they watch us troll for a mile. Like, they know what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, to love seeing.
Yeah, and I've done it. I'm try to do it again. Same time of year, can never replicate. We'd watch them while I swim down the rocks and smash our baits.
Oh, it's cool.
It was insane.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
He wanted to keep every one of them too, by the way.
Can't keep them all.
No, I said we can keep 3. We ended up 3 fish the first night and 2 the second night because I let him keep a small over and then a 19, but he was going to keep every one of them. Like Senior, we
I
can't.
was hungry always.
He was.
He was always hungry.
No, that's free food for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've done a ton of podcast interviews. So it's hard for us to know where haven't you gone? What haven't you talked about that we should talk about
Today?
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of time talking about what we did today, right? About
right.
the town and other things to see, but really haven't talked about the fishing.
Oh, you haven't?
Not really.
Oh,
No, not really. So let's talk.
we all
about
love talking
fishing.
about fishing.
Talk
So yeah,
about
so
fishing.
let's talk about fishing. It's been tough out here, crazy tough for quite a few days. Was it last Thursday?
So a week ago, about now,
Yeah,
so
okay.
almost a week ago, I was very, very fortunate to have Al Linder in my boat. We shot an Angling Edge TV show, and the fishing was just getting going. Like
Ramping up.
we had a great day, but it was 2 really skillful anglers in the boat, right? I mean, Al can flat out catch them, and I like to think I'm not a slouch.
Mhm.
So we caught 10 the first day, walleyes, 12 the second day. The northern pike bite was stupid. I think Al said on camera 10-1 over the walleyes. I think it was closer to 15.
Sounds like you guys need
So
a pike
it was
like
dumb.
we have.
Yeah. And then on the second day of the shoot, we got into one of those epic white bass schools where every cast, as soon as it hit the water, I mean, before you had the bail click, the line was coming off your reel because you had a white bass on, right? So it was not easy fishing because the conditions, it was really, really windy and it was hot. It was in the 90s. Well, Al left. The next day, the high was 50. And since then, 5 days in a row now, we haven't got out of the 40s. I did fish yesterday for a very, very abbreviated guide trip. The fish still were there, but not near as cooperative, right? We got 4 walleyes in 3 hours. We probably had 10 or 12 pike. So not unbearable, not impossible fishing, but man, if that weather would have stayed where it was,
Would have been on fire.
So we got a question.
10-degree
Stupid.
drop in
Would be
temperature.
stupid.
So
Yeah.
We got a temperature or a question from Tom Seberg. Weather got a little colder. How many degrees did the temperature drop?
So when I was out with Al, and I fished the same spot yesterday that I fished with Al the week before, 64.4 on my temperature gauge, plus or minus what the actual temperature was. Who cares? 49.9 yesterday.
So
that's nuts.
Yeah. That's a big temperature
15
drop.
degrees, 14,
Right.
15 degrees.
But the fish didn't leave the area. They moved from up on the bank in 3 and 4 feet of water out to 10 to 12,
Okay.
but they didn't boogie. I could still see them,
Okay.
especially on my live, right? You're going down the bank and you turn and look towards the bank and you see nothing and you turn and look towards the deep and there's 5 fish. But you could throw out those 5 fish 15 times before you
Just
got one
neutral.
right. Yeah, they just were not
No.
interested.
So then tomorrow they may be a little on the hungry side.
Could be.
If they
could
don't
be.
feed tonight. I think we're supposed to still have wind and
And
cold
cold
weather.
I mean, they're saying possible snow
Yeah.
overnight. So
Is that true? Well, Devil's Lake, North Dakota.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But tomorrow, wind like 11 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Temperature, not real warm. 40,
No.
46, 47, I think I saw for a high. But you know what? Calm weather, you can make the right presentation. So even if they are neutral or negative, if you can make the right presentation and you work at it long enough, we're going to catch a couple fish tomorrow. I'm confident.
Are we going to make noise? Are we going to try some cranks, rip and wraps? Are we going to
Rip and wraps have been good.
Okay.
Depending on water quality, meaning color, I don't know how many jigs I would throw because they're going to need to feel it before they see it. A boot tail maybe still vibrates. The straight tails that we're working in the clean water, the water's dirty. I wouldn't give them a really good effort. But yeah, rip and wraps have been good. I think even in that colder water, we caught 2 yesterday on a number 7 shad wrap, just cast and reel.
Okay.
So they were still, the hungry ones were still chasing. They just weren't all chasing like they were a couple of days prior. So
so we're coming off the spawn. We're post spawn.
post spawn for sure.
So they were already they were starting to come out of that resting period.
Yep.
Starting to
They're roaming, looking
getting
for
ready.
food. And even the fish we caught yesterday, when I cleaned them, they had food in their
They did.
bellies. So the ones that bit were on the feed. It's just finding enough that are on the feed, right?
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to find them tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. Our buddy Jeff, who just got up here, shameless plug, all you fishing media guys and gals are invited to come check out the Merrill Bosch Memorial Wheelchair Ramp project being built at Devil's Lake.
Broke ground today.
Yep.
I drove by it this
They did-
morning. They broke ground this morning. I drove right by it. It's right.
I saw
It's
the sign, but
yeah.
but that was at 6:30 this
the
morning.
ramp, the wheelchairs and walleyes thing is only 2 city blocks from my house.
Oh yeah.
So I drove right by it on the way to get here this morning, and the little Bobcat guys, those guys do that job just because they like driving.
Oh
those
heck
things.
yeah.
But yeah, they were going at it this morning. So yeah, it's going to be ready, and I'll be there. I know I'm planned to be there. It's kind of a special thing for myself. For those that don't know, Merle was our chamber director's dad, Merle,
Yep.
and I was the last guy to take him fishing.
Okay.
And he could have fished longer had we had what's coming.
Sure.
Right. It was really, really challenging to get him in the boat. I had met Merle many years earlier, and I forced him to come fish with me. He said, I can't get in your boat. I can't get in your boat. I can't get in your boat. And I'm like, God damn it, you're getting in my boat.
Right.
We'll figure
We're
a way.
going one more time. I don't care if I got to put you on my back
There will or
and
there's a way.
set you in my boat. We're going. And now I'm going to be able to do that for so many more people.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to get so many more customers or just friends out in a boat one more time, right? Because someday I'm going to be that guy.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to be that guy, and I'm going to want to go one more time. And thank goodness this group came up with this concept And we've got one on Lake Sakakawea. We're going to have one here in Devil's Lake. I know they're looking at places
They
in
got
Minnesota,
one going in
Wisconsin.
Minnetonka. We're working on
You guys got one, a couple in South Dakota, right?
We do
Coming
not
along
have
the
one
way.
of these. We're
But they're
working
coming.
Yep.
Oh, thank you to all
And
the
the thing
guys
I want
involved
to
with
stress
that. That's
is
incredible.
this isn't just, it's wheelchairs and wallets, but it's not just for wheelchairs.
No, it's anybody
It's
that
for
needs help getting in a
anybody
boat.
that needs help getting in a boat.
Yeah,
So
a
you walk up the
motorized
ramp,
mechanical lift, pull your boat up next to it, kind of a mini crane for a lack of a better reason on a swing, and you lift them up and you turn them around and you set them down.
Or the
then you-
ramp that takes them right into a
and then you just
pontoon.
go right around and launch the boat. And at the end of the day, you pull up and you can lift them out. And,
Yep.
And they're built to last forever.
Well,
I mean, they are.
Well,
they're-
from the drawings, I haven't seen one in person, but the plans look like this thing is.
Well,
like
we've
a
been
bombshell.
working with them about the pier ones, and I'm like, okay, so long-term maintenance, like what are we looking at? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
We've got it all figured out to build a sustainable program to where we run a benefit tournament every year, and it's going to continue to sustain that thing. And he goes, and what we're using doesn't wear out. If you put the one ramp inside in the winter, you cover the other one in the winter. But other than that, like you might have to replace a vinyl seat or something like that. But he's like, it's $500 a year will maintain that thing for 10 years. So, and like I said, they built one down in Chamberlain, which is great, but it's a metal one. The life expectancy is 20 years, I found out. And I said, until somebody backs into it.
Yeah.
You back into this, you better go find a body.
You're gonna get a new
shop.
truck.
Yeah, you're getting a new pickup.
Like I
right?
said, it looks like a bombshell.
Yeah. So, and that's what I tried to stress to the South Dakota people, like, we need this because it's never going anywhere. If we happen to flood again, just going to be underwater.
Yeah,
And then it's going to be out of the water, and everything's meant to be.
And for those that don't know Devil's Lake all that well, the one here is in Lakewood Park. So if you are in need of help getting in and out of a boat after June 8th, you're going to want to launch at the Lakewood Park boat ramp.
And it's all easy access.
Yeah, it's very easy to get to. It's all pavement. There's no gravel to get in and out or anything like that. So yeah, it'll be a nice addition.
I don't know if I should even read this comment. Tom's taking a punch at it. It says, have fun, guys, and telling Johnnie how to teach you how to hold the reel the right way.
See, Tom,
we really want to go there. I
Spinning reel on top, you can crank it backwards. Is that how everybody does it?
I put Tom.
do
Tom came up to guide a group for me on Oahe last year, and we went out the day before, and I put him on the winning spots. We do a little guide tournament thing. The guys come up and they get guided. There's a tournament. He didn't go to the spot I put him on. The other guy told to go there, won the tournament, never left the spot.
Should have listened.
So, Tom,
sounds like he's a little bitter.
Yeah, don't punch at me, bud.
Oh, do you reel left-handed, or because I everything I do has? I'm an old Zebco guy, and I cannot get.
So with a spinning reel, I cast with my right hand and reel with my left.
Okay.
With a bait casting reel, I cast with my right hand and reel with my right hand, which is stupid.
Yeah,
but I cannot convince myself to do it the other way. I've tried and tried and tried, and I literally catch myself holding the reel handle and doing this with the rod.
Right.
Because that just doesn't.
I
don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I don't get it.
I literally have, over the years, just learned to use both hands for different reels. Now I'm way more comfortable one way.
Right.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I can do it. Right. I can do it. Right.
Yeah.
There's times you get guide clients and you switch the handle and they set their rod in the corner and you see the bobber go under and you pick it up and you set the hook and you're like, oh, it's the backwards way. And I can get them in. Yeah. And believe it or not, over my fishing career, I'm so paranoid about what happens if I get hurt. Right.
Yeah.
We don't have wage loss insurance. They don't sell Aflac to fishing guides. So if I can't fish, I can't get paid. So there are several times throughout the course of the year, I'll say, all right, today I'm fishing left-handed.
Just in case.
And I will force myself to cast with my left and reel with my right. And my clients get a kick out of watching it because it is not pretty. It's like trying to be a switch hitter in baseball. You're really not a switch hitter. And it looks funny, but after an hour or two, I can make it work. So but you got to do it sometimes, right?
I get you.
You have to.
Kurt and I guess I don't know. We don't practice for it if we get hurt because it's kind of odd to use the other hand to wipe, right? So I get the whole the money thing and earning a living, but yeah, and that's the thing. You never know when you might need that ramp, that whole that facility, because it truly is. I guess in its own, it is a magnificent facility.
As sad as it is, it should already be here, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we all know that there's things that happen to people in our lives. Some are in our family, some are our close friends, some are complete strangers. But no one picks to be unable to go fishing.
Yeah.
And why shouldn't they have every opportunity to enjoy the lake and a boat and get out there? And you know what? It's not, we're looking at it from a fishing perspective, but it's not just fishing. It's not just fishing. How many grandparents want to go sit in the boat and watch their grandkids on an energy
jump off
and they
the boat,
couldn't do it.
Float.
They couldn't do it. Now they can. And we're so fortunate to be one of the first 2 or 3 of these in the country. Here in Devil's Lake, right? It's, again, I can't thank the people enough that have done the fundraising, the designing. They're not cheap.
No,
they're far from cheap.
Yeah, they're costly.
But you know what? It's been one of the easiest projects as a community to get money for I've ever seen in my life, because people hear about it and they're like, absolutely, how much do you want? Right.
Well, and the crazy thing, I'm thinking, okay, this is great. You get kids who want to go fishing and it's hard, but all of a sudden you're hearing from all the different walks of life that are so excited because they've wanted to fish for 15 years, for 30 years. They've never been able to get in a boat. It surprised me the number of people who want to get into a boat.
Right.
I just didn't realize the numbers were as massive as they are. It blew my mind. So awesome. So it's a big thing. So Jeff, Jennifer, we'll do it for Norm. Jeff, Jennifer, Yeah, thank you. Thanks for what you guys are doing.
But back to fishing. So if we get to go fishing tomorrow, what are you going? Where are we starting? What are we doing? Like, if you're like, we asked Garrett this, and I said tomorrow morning we go out. What is the first step?
So typical progression, walleyes. I don't care if it's Lake Erie. I don't care if it's Lake Hawaii. I don't care if it's Devil's Lake, North Dakota, anywhere in between. Ice goes out. In the spring, fish don't know the ice is gone. They don't know. It's just a roof over their head that went away. Water temperature is still the same the day after the ice melts. So those fish stay deep longer than people think. A lot of people, as soon as the ice goes off, we got to go to the shore. No, they don't know. You're still ice fishing for the first 5 days of water, right? Then those fish finally start thinking spawn, spawn, spawn. They move to their spawning areas. Everybody gets that pretty well dialed in. Go to Chamberlain, when they're on the rocks, because everybody's on the rocks, right? What do they do after they spawn? Well, for years and years and years, everybody said you can't catch them after the spawn because they go sit somewhere and rest up. And I'm like, you know what? I don't buy that. Okay. Spawning takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Much like childbirth when humans takes a lot of energy. And I haven't been around a lot of women having babies, but the ones I was around, as soon as they feel rested, they eat.
Yeah.
Right? Because you got calories to put back from spawning. Walleyes are no different. The first thing they want to do after spawn is eat, not rest. They don't want to rest.
Which makes sense because a walleye lives to eat. I mean, that's
correct.
Right. That's
the reason everybody made an excuse for not catching them is they disperse.
Yeah.
Right? They're all in one spot for a week of spawning, and then they leave, and no two of them go the same direction. So we had to come up as fishermen with an excuse for not catching fish. So everybody says they don't eat after they spawn. Well, think about Lake Erie.
Yeah.
How many walleyes have I caught in Lake Erie with skein dripping out of them? They don't eat after they spawn? Are you kidding me? Right? But Lake Erie has such a population density that even when they disperse, there's enough of them in one spot.
They disperse together.
You catch them once, right? So the first thing they do is they leave the spawning areas. They head to the largest flat they can find, and they start roaming looking for food. Well, in Devil's Lake, our big flats are fairly shallow. They warm quicker, but they're usually not attached to the main lake. They're off the beaten path, way at the back ends of bays, over a flooded road, through some trees. Oh my, look at this water that's all 8 feet deep. And it's 6 degrees warmer than the main lake. Well, that's where the food chain starts every year, right? It warms quicker, bugs start to hatch, minnows go there, walleyes follow the bait. And if you're lucky enough fish swim to the right bay and they actually congregate again. And now you've got this little area with hungry fish. That's what they were doing before the weather changed.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. They were into that. Let's find the food. Let's find the food. They were finally finding the food and grouping back up, and things were getting good. My hunch is after yesterday with the bad weather, they're still in those areas, but they've kind of retreated from the super skinny water to a little bit deeper water. But I'm still going to go to those areas. I don't think they left those shallow bays and went back to the main lake. I think they're still in those bays, but we may not be pitching to the shore. We might be pitching to the middle of the bay.
Yeah.
That's my hunch.
We're not spending any time out on the points out here.
No, you could. There's fish out there. There's fish out
there.
there. I'm sure they're out there. But,
Doc Hagen.
right. But I'm going to go into that skinny backwater, dark bottom ducks. They're duck sloughs, right?
Right.
I would guess if you got out of your boat and tried to walk across them, you'd sink up to your knees.
Right?
Right.
When your jig hits the bottom, you don't feel anything. And you never get snagged because there's nothing out there.
Just gumbo. That bottomless.
That's where we're going to start. And I
pitching jigs or split bobbering or.
I'm going to pitch first because it's more interesting, more exciting.
Yeah.
If we catch one or two and we think the numbers are there, then of course I would slow down and throw a bobber out. Unless whoever's with me says we want to keep pitching, then we'll keep pitching because it's fun.
Yeah.
Nothing better than a dunk.
Right.
It's the best
Well,
feeling.
if the wind lays down, I'm all about the bobber thing. That's a ton of fun.
It's fun. Oh yeah, it's fun too.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a bobber going down.
Oh, heck yeah.
First fish you ever caught in your life, I'd bet money was
Bobber.
Bobber,
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it takes you back to that special little.
Oh,
to see the ding, ding, ding,
Yep.
and then
Oh, yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Yep.
I love it. So
Another comment?
I bet Kurt Underhill will get the first pike. Yeah, I probably will. I'll probably only get pike and white bass. Thanks.
Somebody's got to be first.
Somebody's got to catch him. Yeah, no doubt. So we were talking with Garrett, and I was talking about perch out here in Creel Bay, and I, he's doubtful that we'll catch perch.
So perch in Devil's Lake have this magical ability to disappear when the ice goes away. I don't know why.
The Houdini.
I don't know why.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So open water guide. I don't ice fish here, right? Anybody that follows me knows I go south in the winter, so I don't ice fish here.
I think you told us you
Ice
guys
fish-
for Zippy 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. I'm done.
This is not for me.
It's all you, buddy. Ice is for mixed drinks. That's
Yeah.
that's my favorite line in the world. But last summer, and usually walleye and perch intermingle.
Yeah.
And a lot of times walleye techniques will catch perch, right? A bottom bouncer and a spinner and a crawler. How do you keep perch off? Trolling number 4 Salmo Hornets on lead core. How do you keep a perch off?
Yeah.
I caught 7 perch all last summer. 7.
Really?
Wow.
7. In the perch capital of the world.
Yeah.
Right.
They're there someplace.
Yeah, right.
They're not where a walleye lives because you don't hear walleye guides catching them by accident. So I don't know if they go so far into the vegetation that you can't get to them, or if they go so far out into the mud basin
They use some.
that no one goes there because you're not fishing walleyes out there.
Sure.
Right? So I don't know where. I have no idea where they go. But yeah, I would say I would not expect to see a perch caught in our group tomorrow.
And that's interesting from a guy who knows this lake like the back of his hand. So
Well, and that's the thing. Like, so South Dakota GFMP did a tag, electronic tagging survey on Sharp years ago to track where fish migrated to. And we were talking to him and asked Nick and Mark where they went, and he goes, places nobody fishes. Like, we watched the walleyes go to places that people don't fish.
Yep.
And so I'm guessing, it's
Perch
very
do the same
similar
thing.
to perch. Is they're just going to the places like
No
you said,
one
they're
fishes.
going out to the mud basin because nobody's going
No one's
there.
going there. They're safe.
Yeah.
And they're safe from predators out there too,
Yeah.
right? Because the big predators don't like to get too far from cover because they like to hide to ambush prey.
Yeah.
There's no cover out in 53 feet of water. So a perch is safe out there. And it's about the only place a perch is safe in Devil's Lake.
Yeah.
I would not want to be a perch in Devil's Lake.
No.
You got something on your tail every minute of your life.
Yeah. He literally is going to defining.
Oh, yeah. You're done. You're toast. It's not if you'll get eaten, it's when will you get eaten.
Yeah, exactly.
You're toast. Yeah.
So as live sonar, has that changed fishing on Devil's Lake like it has anywhere else?
Yeah, I think it has. It amazes me how many people have it and utilize it, right? When it first came out, I kind of thought, well, it's cool. It's educational. You're going to learn a lot. but it's expensive. And
It is.
I don't know how many boats I see on the lake that have more money in live sonar than they have in a boat.
Yeah.
Grandma and grandpa, right? Ethel and
I have
and
a
Merle,
video on my phone from last
they
year.
all have it. They all have it.
Right.
Last year paddle fishing a 16-foot old or 14-foot old Lund, the old red one with the, like you were talking about, the fixed motor, 25 horse, and he had a live scope pole hanging.
Heck yeah.
He took a video and said all the tournament guys said, you guys all complain about not look at this guy.
Right.
So
for me personally, how has it changed my fishing on Devil's Lake? I'm not there's a fish, we're all going to stand on the bow of my boat and throw at it. I'm not that guy. I don't think that's fair as a guide to offer that service to my clients, because not everybody can stand by me in the bow of my boat and look at it. I don't have mine on a pole. It's on my trolling motor.
Yeah.
Where it's really helped though, is it tells me when there's fish somewhere I might not be looking, right? We talked about that before.
Yeah, right.
So traditionally this time of year, you're fishing a windy shore. Well, to cast to the windy shore, the bow of your boat is usually pointed away from where you're fishing.
Yeah.
Right. So now I think they're behind me, but when I look down and see on my Humminbird that there's 4 fish on the deep side, I don't necessarily cast right at them, but I tell my clients, guys, I just saw a pot of fish on the deep side. Everybody make 2 casts to the deep side.
Yeah.
And somebody will inevitably catch 1 or 2 of those fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they watch the jig go right in front of the fish and catch it Tom Wynn way? No. Does it matter? No. They caught
fish.
Right?
Yeah.
Bobber fishing, right? You pull up to a piece of structure, and I'm so used to driving around with my big motor looking at straight down. Now I'm driving up to the spot and I'm putting my trolling motor in, and I'm driving around with split screen looking directly under me and in front of me.
Yeah.
So now when I thought they were on top of the rocks and I pull up to position my boat and I'm like, maybe I should go 30 more feet because they're on the edge of the rocks.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I'm starting to see, like you said, we're seeing fish in places we didn't realize they went.
Yeah.
And it's helping you position your boat to catch those fish. I am not a guy that's watching them bite. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I don't ever really even want to be that guy. But I'm loving the fact that it's another view to see.
Yeah.
Before I could see left, right, and down. Now I can see left, right, down, and forward.
Or any direction.
Or
Any
or-
direction, right? So it's just letting me see more of the underwater world, position my boat properly, and give my clients a chance to catch more fish. If I was still a tournament guy, I might have a different take on the casting to individual fish, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm using it just to position the boat more.
Money's on the line in different ways there.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
yes. Okay. You mentioned Humminbird. So let's go there now, right? Because you've been with Humminbird for a long time. We're going to talk about the BYOB, but because I love that and I think it's important. And Shields didn't have you around up here.
Right. Not as much this year.
Yeah, I don't know. No Sioux Falls, no Fargo, no. I think you were in Wisconsin.
I was in Bismarck.
That's right. You were in Bismarck. Okay, so now you made the shift to explore, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Right. So you've got that. You've got the Mega Live 2.
Mega Live 2.
And then are you doing Quest or what's
I have a Ultrex Quest,
okay.
and I also have the Mega 360.
Okay. All right. So now
I've
talk
got it
about all that.
So
stuff.
let me hold on. So you have the 360 on your trolling motor, you have the Mega down inside, and live.
Yep.
So when all the transducers ping on a fish, does it come up as a fish taco?
It's already fried.
Like
Deep
literally,
fried, breaded,
everything-
filleted. Yeah. Like
everything-
the eyes are bulging out of
It
its head.
just comes up as a fish
Yeah,
taco.
you just throw it right on a piece
Like,
of bread. It's a sandwich.
Right.
Like, it's deep fat fried, ready to go.
Ready to go. Yeah.
We were at Sioux Falls boat show years ago, and George Little had his Vexus bass boat there with that same thing, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
literally, if everything pings at the right time on that,
It's a lot of stuff happening.
that thing's coming up deep fried. It's a fish
Lot
taco
of-
coming
lot
to
of
the
stuff
surface,
happening.
ready for you to eat.
You almost feel like the game and fish boat with electric wires.
Right.
Yeah, they scoop that one up.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It's amazing though, all the applications. I took 360 out to the river and I brought it right back home again because 360 is great in the Basin Lake, but you take it out where you've got all of that undulation and you've got it throws you for
It's challenging.
Yeah,
It's challenging. I've been using it from the beginning. I feel very, very confident with it. I can make it work just about anywhere, but it is challenging. They all have their limitations, right?
True. Yeah.
I think forward-facing sonar does a great job showing fish that are up off the bottom. I'm still not convinced that the target separation with a fish sitting right on the bottom is as good as my down imaging or even my side imaging. Right?
Yeah, side imaging.
I don't think target separation's quite there. Some have a lag, and that's going to be there because there's a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's lag in your video camera sometimes, right? I mean, electronic stuff doesn't always process as fast as we'd like it to.
Well, guys overfilter because
Yeah,
they want
whatever.
to clean the screen.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that you got to think about. You take it all with a grain of salt, but I look at my system between iPilot Link on my trolling motor with all those sonars going, and I'm like, you know what? Even if it is a little bit slow, holy cow, what can I look at versus 20 years ago?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Versus that first term you
when I had a flasher.
Right.
I had a flasher at the console and a flasher in the bow, and I usually didn't turn them both on.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
But that was big back
Once upon a time, someone told me you could see a fish on a flasher. I don't know if I ever did. I really, honest to God, don't know if I ever saw a fish.
We had, was it Mike McClellan
I don't
we
know.
had on?
I don't. And with
We had,
the, yeah,
Mike, was he telling us
It was
that he
Mike McClellan.
drilled a hole
and
with
turned
a
it.
with a
Okay,
sheet
yeah.
metal screw and turned his transducer on his flasher back in the day and
Yeah.
would scan
And
with
was
it.
doing
Yeah. Yeah, but I still don't. I mean, it's
Yeah.
blips. It was, and it was loud and going around in circles.
Then
I'm
it
like,
buzzed too loud, you'd hit the side of
thought that was a fish, but now I've got this many blips. So I don't, is that a drop off? Is that a weed edge? I mean, you kind of learned what it was showing you, but I'm not afraid to call a spade a spade. Those freaking red dial, old school Humminbird silent 60s or whatever they were, which weren't silent, by the way.
No, not even for a second.
They were
it.
just
Just taps the side
it
of
was
him every
like,
once in a while.
I think it's 10 feet deep, but I'm not positive. We're just going to go fish here, right? Yeah, it's so much better. I even said that, Humminbird took some heat over Mega Live 1. And I'm like, guys, it's better than Mega Live 0.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right? We had nothing before.
Yeah.
We had nothing before. So what? It's not perfect. I own a lot of, go look in my garage. I'll show you all the things that aren't perfect that we rely on every day. Right? So that works out well.
Yeah. So, the technology blows my mind. I can't be without it. Honestly, I can't.
You
fish
feel like
without
you're
it.
fishing naked.
Yeah, right.
You don't have
It's boring.
It is.
It's
It is.
truly because if the fish aren't biting, I'm busy watching. I'm learning. I'm doing whatever. I did the same thing back in 2013. I bought a $3,000 boat and I put $8,000 worth of electronics on it.
And you want to know what? You want to talk about fun with electronics? This lake right here,
Oh,
the things you can see.
all the stuff.
Roads, bridges, buildings,
Right.
tractors, cars,
Yeah.
clothesline
Yeah.
poles, bicycles. I mean, you can't name something I haven't found
Yeah.
in my side imaging or Mega
It's-
Live. It's
well,
awesome. It's absolutely
For
incredible.
The combines, the machinery,
Well,
the
it's fun.
buildings, the whatever.
Well.
And honestly, the first time that I ever saw any foundations or barbed wire fences and posts and stuff with side imaging just blew my mind.
It's really cool.
I've got guys that will say that side imaging is the dumbest thing I never use it. Well, that's too bad because
You're missing out.
you can tell the size of a fish with side
You can.
imaging. Now you've got a small fish, a medium fish, a bigger fish, so you're looking at perch to musky or northern, whatever. But the separation between a little tougher when they're hiding behind a rock. You got white and white, but man, the weed lines and all that stuff. You can use all of that live stuff. Live is great for showing movement,
Mhm.
right? In my mind,
I agree.
but to really know what the bottom of a lake looks like, down inside are just
Phenomenal.
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's truly amazing. So, did the producer say we to wrap it up?
Yeah, we gotta get to dinner
We
at
got
the
a thing
casino
going?
here
Who
shortly.
cares
so-
about dinner? This is fun.
Yeah,
We can eat
order
it.
pizza. Just sit here.
Well, if we
Go
keep
all
talking
night.
about fish and fishing, we should get full just
Yeah.
talking about fish.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, we got other things to go to. I
Yeah,
should
we-
say,
we-
yeah, we have to do some other stuff to see the community. We got to see, like, so we went to a great place today for lunch. First place I've ever been to. They get a taco and sushi at the same time.
Yeah.
But it was all good.
Oh my
Everything
goodness,
was
it
good.
food.
Yeah,
Good food.
kind of tried a few different items just to see the gamut of stuff, and what an incredible place that was. So yeah, Devil's Lake. If you've never been here, oh my God, you got to come.
Yeah.
If you haven't been here in a long time, you got to come. Like this place is, like I said, heaven on earth. I've said on every show.
Yeah, and get a guide.
I always say the first thing you do, you come Devil's Lake. I don't care how great a fisherman, hire a guide.
It's a lot
There's
of water.
so much stuff here.
A lot of water.
I mean, I live on big water. I live on Lake Hawaii, but it's like,
Yeah, it's big
this
water.
is big water, but it's different. And you got different structures, like you said, different bays, different railroad tracks.
Yeah.
So earlier, said let's put a mic in there. And I'm sitting there listening to stories of guys hitting railroad
Oh, yeah.
tracks, ripping lower units
Oh, yeah.
off, and dragging boats out of the parking lot. I mean, like that happens
It
here,
does.
and but it's want to get out there. It's not that scary either.
No, it's not. It's not. It's
You
take your
caught
A
time.
lot of water.
Everybody's mapping now shows the flooded roads and the flooded railroad
Yeah.
tracks. Now they're not going to show an individual piece of farm equipment, but let's face it, that stuff's not in 30 feet of water. It's in 6 feet of water.
Yeah.
So
You're seeing
just
it,
be
so.
smart about it.
Yeah, because we kind of talked about that, but I wanted to get out there that it's not like, oh my God, you can't do this.
No,
you
not
know?
at all. Not at all.
So come up here. There's tons of places, Woodlands, all the different places in town. And if you want to get with Johnny, how do they get a hold of you?
JohnnyCandle.com, easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
All the links to my socials are on there, my phone number, my email address, smoke signal, right? If you want to build
Yeah,
a fire. And
There you go.
So I know this is supposed to be promoting Devil's Lake, but if they want to go fishing in the wintertime in Florida,
There you go.
come on down.
where are you at down
Florida Gulf Coast, a little town called Carabel, Florida, 45 miles straight south of Tallahassee. Easy flight in, nice rental car drive down through the Florida forest, and we'll go tear them up all winter long.
So what are we
down there.
catching?
Probably easier to say what you won't catch.
Really?
Right?
Really?
But the only thing I don't have are tarpon and snook.
Okay.
Everything else that you would expect to catch on a Florida fishing trip, I have. Big bull redfish, speckled trout are phenomenal. We get some flounder, we get some grouper, snapper, sea bass, grunts, hogfish, cobia, amberjack.
Oh my.
I mean, you go down the list. It's 53 species of fish I put in my logbook last winter in 4 months. So we catch.
So I have a buddy that's down there. I don't know where he's at, but he's tried to get us to come down there. They go iguana hunting. Can we go iguana?
I'm not that far south.
You're not.
I'm-
Oh, so you're
I'm
too
too
far
far
north.
north.
Okay.
I'm too far north. It's too cold. They fall out of the trees way too fast.
Yeah, like he's like, we can go peacock bass fishing and
Yeah.
iguana hunting, and
Yeah.
I'm like, and he goes that night we'll have an iguana and peacock bass feed, and I'm like, what?
They actually eat those.
They eat
lizards.
them.
Yeah, they do. It's amazing.
And if you haven't seen it, get on YouTube and look up. They have dogs that retrieve.
Oh,
them.
yeah.
They have labs and dogs
Really?
sitting on the
Yeah.
boat, and they shoot them, and the dogs go up and retrieve the
Yeah.
iguanas and bring them back. It's a thing.
I did not.
They drive around in golf carts. And,
They have
Really?
people that go up the golf courses and do it. Other guys take boats and run canals and shoot them.
No
It's
kidding.
it's an
real-
industry. It's for real. They have guides and everything. It's pretty.
That's nuts.
So so you get a couple of different options to go fishing with Johnny. Obviously, come check out Devil's Lake. But if you want to get warm and not be on the ice, I'd rather be on the ice. I do like to get away once in a while, but I like to be on the ice. So check it out. Check out JohnnyCandle.com. Check him out on all social medias. Does great product tutorials. Has a great live feed. You go live, right? Or
Yeah,
is it-
once a month.
Once a month.
Once a month they do
Yeah.
the first Wednesday of every month, May through October.
Yep. So
The
kind of
live
product
Devil's Lake
reviews
seminar.
and
Yeah, it's
so
where are they at? What are they biting on? What to expect when you get here? If something pops up that you should avoid, or I find a new hazard or whatever, I share all that information. So yeah.
Oh, and don't forget to tell your favorite Shields store that you want Johnny Candle's BYOB back. So whether it's Sioux Falls or Fargo or Grant, I don't care where. Just if you got a Shields in your area, get Johnny Candle back.
Well,
Because
thank
I think Shields messed up by not having you in more locations up here, but they did what they did for a
Yeah,
reason, and that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But it's a great program. Guys love it because
Yeah.
you are teaching them how
Well,
to
and I
use
think
their-
it'll bounce back with the new stuff. Right. I think part of the little bit of a slowdown was out with the old, in with the new. Right. So do you want to keep teaching the old? Not enough people had the new yet. So I have a feeling next year it'll switch from the Helix to the Explorer. And what's really cool with Humminbird now, not to get into a product plug, but all of Humminbird's sonar units are now the same operating system. So
Yeah,
you
that's
throw the
nice.
Helix away.
Yep.
And now it's the Explorer, Apex, and Solix are all exactly the same as far as menus and operating system. So the seminar is no longer one unit specific.
Right.
It's all
Unit
of
in general.
Humminbird stuff.
nice.
Yeah.
So
And
I
you can
can
use
now
it.
teach on everything in one classroom, and that's going to make a really big
That's
deal.
nice. And
It'll be
the
a-
processing on them is
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
fast.
it'll be a
So,
big deal.
awesome.
Perfect.
All right.
we will come back with some more later.
Awesome.
We got a couple more guys to interview later tonight. We're going to go get some dinner.
Let's go eat.
Yeah.
And
sounds like a good
we'll
one.
see you guys later. Thank you,
All right,
Johnny.
Thank you.
Take care.